What do you think about a Jeep CJ? A mini Jeep CJ. Sounds pretty cool, right? Off-road thrills, endless customizable options at a fraction of the cost of a standard CJ. Hey there, thanks so much for tuning in. In today's Wagoneer Wednesday video, let's discuss the Junior Jeep, or also known as the Jeep JJ. Give this video a thumbs up and comment the word more if you'd like to see more Jeep history videos just like this. Subscribe for Wagoneer Wednesdays at 7 p.m. and follow my 86 Wagoneer project that's on the channel. Now, let's get into it. The Jeep Double J, such a cool and exciting vehicle. To be offered originally as a soft top and removable hardtop 2-door with a 5-speed manual transmission, the vehicle's objection: annihilate the Suzuki Samurai. Picture this, the year is 1986. Suzuki's new Samurai just washed up on shores in the States and Americans were going crazy for him. Exciting looks, loads of fun, Jeep took notice, fast. And what really made the peeps at Jeep start to bite their fingernails was Samurai's puny little price tag, coming in at a whole $3,300 cheaper. The Suzuki Samurai started at $6,550 compared to Wrangler's shiny tag reading $9,899. Now, $3,300 might not be considered a huge deal breaker in today's world when shopping for a vehicle, but back then in 1986, holy smokes, you're talking about the equivalent purchasing power being a whole $10,000. And when shopping for a small, budget-friendly vehicle, that's a huge difference. So for buyers who couldn't justify it to fork over the extra $3,300, could you really blame them? The Japanese automaker Suzuki had some big plans. Their hopes of importing 1,200 Samurai units per month to the States from Japan were easily met. The company, expecting to sell 1,200 units a month at 14,400 units a year, ended up moving 47,000 units in their first year here. Not bad. Americans loved their new budget-friendly foreign off-roader. Great news for Suzuki, yes, but Jeep, not so much. A quick side note, as a few years passed on, Jeep noted and was confident to say Samurai owners eventually would make the switch to Wrangler. Do you agree with this bold statement? Anyways, it was obvious Jeep needed to get busy. Like yesterday. Busy. An entry-level Jeep was in the works, and if Suzuki later on down the line wanted to introduce one or several larger competing vehicles with Jeep's Cherokee and Wagoneer, that could spell bad news for Jeep. What do you think? Let's wind the clocks back to 1977 when the company pulled off the wraps of their all-new Jeep Concept 2. Playing around with the idea of a small, compact Jeep was nothing new to the company. A decade prior to the Jeep JJ, back when Jeep was owned by American Motors Corporation, the AMC folks had created a toy-looking, entry-level, front-wheel drive base with four-wheel drive capability, Jeep. Powered by a Renault 4-cylinder engine, no details on what exact size, the Concept 2 was set to have some great gas mileage compared to other four-wheel drive off-road vehicles on the market. The Concept 2 had a wheelbase of 75 inches, 8 inches less than the CJ5. Overall length was 2 feet shorter and the height was reduced by a full 9 inches. Due to lack of very little information on the Concept 2, it's unknown how many running and non-running prototypes were made, and if any survived. So why didn't the Concept 2 ever see the roads? The CJ was always a sales success, even holding strong during the fuel shortages. On the other hand, Cherokee and Wagoneer declined in sales. Once big profits for the company, now is putting AMC's life in danger. AMC folks decided to throw their extra cash towards a redesign for the senior Jeeps. A quick side note about the mention of all the Renault in the video. During life in the 1970s at AMC, the company had a relationship with the French automaker Renault. This was something I wasn't aware of until creating this video. By 1979, Renault went from just working here and there with AMC to taking a share in AMC ownership. By 1987, Chrysler had purchased AMC, who owned Jeep, acquiring a 47% stake in AMC that Renault had been holding on to. Remaining shares of AMC were bought on the New York Stock Exchange August 5th of '87. The deal was valued between 1.7 and 2 billion US dollars. It was then Chrysler, or more so Lee Iacocca, had cut ties with Renault, only wanting AMC and Jeep. They also didn't want their passenger cars to competing with Renault's. Now, let's hop into the 1980s. By the time the early 80s had rolled around, AMC had given the green light on a whole new vehicle project dubbed the J90, aka Jeep for the 90s. Some buyers were slowly making the shift towards smaller, fuel-efficient vehicles, something the public wasn't quite ready for yet in years past. This all-new vehicle was to be a small, entry-level Jeep for cheap, something smaller than Jeep's upcoming 1984 Cherokee XJ and smaller than the CJ. Unfortunately, very little is known about the J90, being this photo is the only one in existence. It's unclear how many running and non-running prototypes were made, and if any survived. Here's what we do know. The J90 was powered by a Renault 2-liter 4-cylinder engine coming in with a 2,000-pound curb weight. It was designed to be front-wheel drive based with a 4-wheel drive option as well, and it was to feature a light fiberglass and aluminum body and C-channel aluminum frame rails. The Concept 2 and J90 showed for what was to come for an entry-level Jeep. Now, on to the JJ. The year is 1986. Suzuki launches their new Samurai in the United States. Jeep's legendary design chief, Bob Nixon, who I've talked about in past videos, was the man with a plan to get the JJ out on the roads. Taking lessons and feedback from their smaller, experimental J90 program, Nixon and his team were able to create everything the JJ needed to blow Samurai out of the water. Nothing like a little friendly competition, right? The goal was to create a vehicle roughly comparable in size to the Samurai with superior performance and styling offered at competitive pricing. What kind of pricing, you may ask? Sadly, we'll never know. No details on price were ever shared. Jeep was to sell the JJ worldwide. Overseas markets like China and Venezuela would receive JJ models that were assembled over there, while for the North American market, there was talks about building it in their Toledo, Ohio plant or possibly building a new complex. However, that would be costly. Engineers at Jeep were committed to making this JJ a real go-anywhere Jeep. With an 87-inch wheelbase, they were sure to offer a smoother, higher ride quality than Samurai with its 80-inch wheelbase. Overall length for the JJ was 131 inches long compared to Samurai coming in at 111 inches. The JJ was just 63 inches wide while Samurai was 57 inches wide. Coming in at 1,800-pound curb weight, Samurai weighed 2,100 pounds. When it came to the engine and transmission specs, the JJ was originally planned to receive a 1.7-liter and 2-liter Renault-powered 4-cylinder engine. This would have saved millions in terms of engine development since there was not too much room to play in terms of available funds. Both the 1.7 and 2-liter engines were rumored to be only offered with a 5-speed manual transmission. No word on an automatic transmission being available. Once Chrysler had purchased AMC in 1987, the decision was made to switch to a 2.5-liter 4-cylinder engine that Chrysler had brought in, paired again with a 5-speed manual transmission. Possibly too large of an engine for a small, compact, entry-level Jeep, engineers made the 2.5-liter engine work by rotating the motor 90 degrees to utilize all the necessary engine bay real estate and accommodate for the necessary 4-wheel drive layout. Another accomplishment done by Jeep engineers was being able to design a lightweight drivetrain with a low overall curb weight with a larger engine. The JJ Fighter had high hopes. When it came to the body and chassis, the company was able to give the JJ an advanced unibody design. Thanks to all of the engineering time and development used to create the all-new 1984 Cherokee XJ, this consisted of 13 basic pieces or modules with simple bolt and bond technology. The goal? Easier assembly, reduced manufacturing costs, and big weight savings. Structural pieces of the vehicle were to be painted only one color, accent gray. I think black would have been pretty cool too. They were to use molded in colored wheel flares and fascias too. Only the hood, doors, rear gate, and quarters needed to be painted. Sounds simple enough, right? Originally, the JJ was to be offered in just one body style, a 2-door with one engine and transmission option. buyers were able to be given an option of checking off the soft top or removable hard top on the order sheet. Some of the folks at Jeep suggested there ought to be a 4-door model for a more family-friendly, everyday practical use. This was a clever suggestion, but a costly one too. Then another suggestion was made of having an option of a fixed roof. Suggestion after suggestion. The flame of the JJ was slowly starting to die as executives at the company couldn't help but hear the cha-ching, cha-ching. Along with a few engineers at Jeep who felt the JJ was lacking the real Jeep factors, things that made Jeep a Jeep. Sounds a bit like a Jeep Renegade in today's world. The JJ failed to complete Jeep's Rubicon Trail test. This would have made it difficult to market the JJ as a true go-anywhere Jeep. Despite building 60 working prototypes, in the end, Chrysler Vice President Bob Lutz believed the JJ program had grown too large, too expensive, with very small returns. He thought pouring funds into what was to be the popular and profitable Jeep Grand Cherokee would make more sense. Ultimately, Jeep got their Grand Cherokee and the Dodge brand received some new pickup trucks. The Junior Jeep was axed. Priced competitively at $7,861, Jeep pulled off the wraps. That's right. After all that, they pulled off the wraps off their Wrangler S model, a more bare-bones option, an affordable option for Samurai buyers and owners. Hey, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video about the JJ, please give it a thumbs up, and you gotta let me know. Comment down below what you think about the JJ. Should they have made it? Is it a good thing that they ditched the plans for the JJ and put the funds towards the Grand Cherokee and the Dodge brand? Let me know what you think below. I think it would have been really cool if they would have made this JJ. It would have been such a collector's item in the Jeep community. It would be a cool thing to have around today. You know, when I was making this video, the JJ, it sort of reminded me of the 2016 Jeep Shortcut concept vehicle that Chrysler had brought out. It was a shortened wheelbase JK Wrangler. I still think that Jeep should make something a little smaller than the Wrangler, not have it be a fake Jeep like a Compass or a Renegade like they have today. They don't deserve the Jeep badge. The Shortcut, something like this would be really cool. Anyways, thanks so much for spending some time with me today. Make sure you subscribe for more videos just like this, and we'll see you next week. Take care, everyone.